When did working hard become something people apologize for?
You're now listening to the Student of Life podcast.
Hi, y'all. Thank you all for joining us once again for another week. And for this discussion, you're being graced by the presence of Tim and myself, Trey. And yes, this is Student of Life. So, Tim, it's only us two. It's only us two. Do you think that we can carry this thing on without our third member?
We'll try, but I think we can.
I think we can too. I think we can too. And hopefully, all of our listeners and viewers out there, they'll give us some grace here, because we're going to be hitting on some points that will be about working hard working, 9 to 5, just to make a living, earning your place, respecting experience, and how nothing is guaranteed. Are you ready for this?
Well, I'm ready.
Cue the music. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
So, right? There's that music. Hey, cue it. Go ahead. Do it.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. No. There's a reason why you're not making that music, right? Oh my gosh. Neither one of us are. So I have a question for you, Tim. Growing up, did you ever get any guidance or any type of little nuggets of wisdom about working?
Working, yes, but not just in the sense of a job, just life skills and really everything. So, I mean, between teachers, parents, bosses at work, other family members, friends, you name it, I think everyone had some sort of, nugget to give me that, was trying to help guide me on later on in life. So, yes, absolutely. And I still to this day, I still receive, little pieces of advice and kind of suggestions to hopefully make life a little bit more easier. It's never going to be completely easy, but there are tips and tricks that help along the way. So yeah, I think it's a continued thing, and it's something that I then try and pass down as well too.
So I know that we kept it kind of vague, right? Kept it very vague. If there's any little nuggets that you receive. Now let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper. Yes, this isn't the full package, but we're going to get kind of deep right now. Is there any piece of advice that you can specifically think of that you were given about working or working hard?
Yeah, so really, I think one of the ones that I kind of lean back to, one of my high school teachers actually, I was kind of one of those kids where I came in, did my thing, some of the classes, depending on the topic, I'd pay attention to and I'd do my work. Some I would just skate by and, the whole C's to get degrees. And in some cases, D's get degrees. But no, he had this mindset and he was able to reach everybody across the entire spectrum of who you were as a student, both in the classroom and out of the classroom. And I think the biggest thing was to try to find something, no matter how small it is, to enjoy what you're doing so it doesn't necessarily seem like work.
Ooh, okay.
Because I think you get into this mundane, swing of things where you're just kind of continuously going. And I experience it, on a daily basis. And there's times where you clock in, you do what you're supposed to do, you clock out, and that's that. But there are other times where no matter how big or small it is, you get to experience something. And you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This well worth it. And, I'm making a difference. And so I think once you find those small little things, no matter what they are, it tends to kind of help push you through, in the tough days where you're like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I can do this. And, then you just hit that little bump and it knocks you, it kind of pushes you over that hump, I should say. And you're good.
Yeah. It's crazy because we're kind of in that right now, right? This is episode 9. We're in episode 9, and why are we doing this? It's because we believe in it. We believe in this mission of open dialogue and discussion. About learning a little bit about ourselves, but then also from other people's points of views as well too, that can help us grow. Every single day. We're trying to learn. We are trying to learn. And that's one reason why we're not going to give up. We're going to keep showing up. We're still going to keep putting in that hard work. And even when we don't feel like doing it, we're going to, well, I'm going to show up. Tim, will you show up?
I mean, I showed up.
You showed up. You showed up. And for anyone who can't be here, it's definitely not a knock to them. You know, things come up in life, things happen, and communication is a great thing. So Johnny V, if you're listening and watching this episode, that was not a knock to you.
We still
That
love.
definitely was not. We still love you, man.
I think, and actually, it's funny you bring this up, that this, because some would see this as work, and yes, we're putting in work to get to the final process of each episode, and going through each of the steps and the stages. But it's also something that we find joy, and we thrive in this type of stuff of conversing with other people and interacting with the community. And as our motto is, learning and growing together so we can live a life where, we're all cohesive, no matter if you agree or disagree or come from different backgrounds. We're doing this to help kind of bridge those divides and those gaps. And there are some days, like I know with editing the videos and trying to figure out what topic we're going to do and everything else in between. But at the end of the day, we sit down, we talk, we go through this, and you know, lo and behold, we're like, oh, it's coming to the end of the episode right there, and like I could talk for another hour plus.
And sometimes we do. So we'll
Yes,
wrap it up. We'll wrap it up, and then we'll continue talking and having a conversation even afterwards too. Whether it be, for 5 minutes or half an hour even after. And it's a joy. So I will say that I know I asked you if you ever got any little nuggets when you were younger that, you hold dear to you now and helps get you through. I'm going to give a little insight to my father. He always told me, "Hey, just knock it out now. If you push it off to tomorrow or later in the day, you may not even get to it, and then you'll be scrambling at the end to try to catch up. So, hey, just knock it out now. You don't feel like it? Just knock it out now. Trust me, it'll make it easier for you to just go ahead and do it now than waiting
kicking
and
that can down the road.
kicking that can down the work because it's still going to have to get done, but now you have all these other things potentially that you have to get done as well too. So even though I may not feel like doing something in the moment, just knock it out and do it now. And that's one reason why I know for myself, I have this thing where I have to get it all done. And Tim, you can probably attest to this, where it seems like I'm doing so much and then it seems like I'm exhausted
Yes.
because I feel like I need to get it done. It's that working hard that was instilled in me when I was young. And so I know that you have children now. Is there anything that you can see from this younger generation that's different from how you were raised and taught?
I think,
And it doesn't have to be specific to your children as well too, but you're around other children and in
yeah.
the communities and stuff like that. So that's what I'm wondering.
So, actually, one of the organizations, the Watchdogs program that I volunteer with for the elementary school. So it's dogs, dads of great students. Let's see, I have dogs in my head.
Woof, woof.
But it's that opportunity for male figures to go volunteer at the schools and help out, in the sense of, like, a lot of times they're unable to throughout the school year for certain events. But anyways, it gives me an opportunity to help out with some of the teachers and some of the students from anywhere between kindergarten to 5th grade within the elementary school there. And I remember the last couple years, a couple different times, and being in the classrooms and seeing how many students either didn't complete assignments, no matter type they were, whether it was like book report or just a small essay or just some like a take home quiz, basically. And I remember talking to the teachers, and the teachers were telling me that a lot of times, they can try to enforce it, but they can't force it. And it's to the point now where, like, at some of the ages, like even 5th grade, when they're getting ready to go into middle school, they can't hold them back. They can't fail them, for not doing assignments or not doing their work. And I think part of the issue is the home situation. A lot of times the parents don't keep up with their kids, and they're not as involved, and they're not as in tune to what's going on with their kids academically. Because I remember talking to the teacher, and she's like, "Yeah, we get students all the time where they're like, oh, my parents have no idea that X, Y, Z is going on, or that I needed to do this assignment." And you can ping the parents as much as you want, but at the end of the day, if they really truly don't care and don't have that vested interest in their kids' academic world, then there's nothing you can do about it. But just seeing how many of them were just so lackadaisical, and they're because they know nothing's really going to be done about it. There's nothing the teachers can unfortunately do. And I think that causes so much of an issue on the education staff when they're wanting the kids to succeed, and they're wanting to see them push through, but they come in with this mentality throughout the school year where my teacher won't do anything to me, or my parents won't do anything to me if I don't do my work.
And that's interesting that you're bringing up that point of view, because the title of this episode is, working hard isn't cool anymore. And I'm wondering if, and we're going to go deeper into this whole conversation once we cross over to the other side, right? But when did that focus kind of shift from working hard to make it, to now wanting to just make it, right? Without actually putting in that effort, and putting your nose down. What do they say? Put your nose to the grindstone or something like that, right? That used to be the saying,
Just
I think.
skating by and bare minimum, and it just
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's really perplexing. So when we started working on this, I really wanted to think about and have this conversation and try to figure it out. Like, when did it become unpopular and just not cool to work hard? Like when did we actually have that shift? And we're gonna go deep into this in the full package. And I do want to say that we've actually hit that point in the show where it's time for us to cross on over to the full package. And that, hey, this full episode is now up on Patreon. And even by saying this, right? So for the past couple of weeks now, we've kind of dropped the ball from giving a shout out to Crit G20. I want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for becoming a full package member. And we love to hear any of your thoughts. So, all of our listeners, if you want to sign up, go ahead and sign up. But you can definitely give us a comment or post a question if you have a question or even suggestions on future shows. Go ahead and leave that in the comment section. And if you haven't already done so, feel free to hit those like, subscribe, and share buttons. But more importantly, once again, like I always say, let's continue to learn, grow, and live together. See
Yes,
you all
sir.
soon.